All right, so quick update. I got really sick last weekend. We finished a long week of shooting on Dirk Gently. It was almost all night shoots out in the forest. I was in a cage on the floor, getting bitten by all sorts of bugs and stuff. And like half the crew got sick. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back and watch season 1 of Dirk Gently. It'll still make zero sense, but it's a really good show and you should watch it. But after the weekend, I took all this medicine and oils and herbs and all these things, some throat freezing spray, and feeling a lot better now. So see you for that. For those of you doing the Bruce Lee podcast challenge, hope you're still doing it. I am as well. Here's my book. I thought I would share another affirmation. If you guys don't know what the Bruce Lee podcast challenge is, go back a couple of videos. It's titled Bruce Lee Podcast Challenge, and I outline the challenge. If you're not doing it with us now, feel free to start whenever and give it a shot. I think it's totally worthwhile. Last week I shared one of my affirmations, which was, today is my day, tomorrow is someone else's. I'll make the most out of every minute. And basically that was just about living now for now, not waiting for a better later to come. It's just appreciating the time that you have now. My next one was something more for... I guess I feel like most of these are for my procrastination, actually. So this next one is, I will focus on and set smaller goals for today. Goals I can start and accomplish today. Smaller goals that lead to my larger, more ambitious goals. So for that one, I wrote it out because oftentimes I have these huge, ambitious goals that I want to accomplish, and I look at it, and it's so big and daunting and scary, and I kind of shut down, and I don't even give it a good start, and so I never get there. Now, I think it was Lao Tzu. He had a really wonderful saying. One of his proverbs is, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So yes, it'll take a friggin' long time to get 1,000 miles walking, but you have to start walking. I mean, assuming that planes and trains and cars and stuff don't exist, but you have to start walking. So this affirmation is just for me to focus on taking that step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and then like a week from now, I'll look back and I've already gone a couple tens of thousands of steps. And I'm like, whoa, just focus on the next one. So that's what it is. For me, it's writing right now. Writing as much as I possibly can. Just little goals, errands during the day. Anything that just gets me to the next step. Filing taxes. Oh my goodness. Collecting receipts. Adding 2 of them up, and then 3 of them, and then 100 of them, etc., etc. Just so little goals that kind of help me focus on something that I can finish, get that little gratification that I accomplished something, and then pushes me forward to the next one so that the big goals don't scare me off. Okay, that's it. That's my second affirmation. If you've got any of your own that you kind of think are neat and want to share, please post them in the comments below. Anyways, on to the Asian American spotlight of the day, of the week. So this week I want to highlight a writer. His name is Greg Pak. I've tweeted about him before. He's half Korean, half American, and he is he's doing incredible things in the comic book world. He just started. He just announced that he's writing the comic for John Wick. If you don't know John Wick, it's this really badass action. It's the latest, newest, best action series out of America in a while, starring Keanu Reeves, who also happens to be some part Asian. I don't know how many, quarter, half, 3/5. I don't know. He's a lot of things. But he's just announced as the writer of John Wick. But not only that, Greg Pak has been such a pioneer for Asian Americans. He's the writer of the Incredible Hulk. I wish I was in LA. I actually have a lot of his comics in LA. So he wrote the Totally Awesome Hulk, which is the offshoot of the Incredible Hulk. So if you know anything about Marvel stuff, the Incredible Hulk is Bruce Banner. in this iteration, Bruce Banner is no more, and he kind of passes on the mantle unwillingly to Amadeus Cho, who happens to be the smartest person in the world and Korean American, and he becomes the new totally awesome Hulk. So he's younger, he loves being the Hulk, he's super cocky about it, and of course, there's pros and cons of doing that, but it's just a completely new dynamic with Hulk, and I absolutely love it. He also he started this Asian American superhero group that they called the Protectors at some point in that series. And so there was this whole comic with, and again, I wish I was in LA because I actually have it, but he does this whole series in where there's like 4 Asian American superheroes, and I didn't even know they existed. So Greg Pak, he writes for DC Comics, he writes for Marvel Comics. He is an incredible writer, and he's pushing Asian Americans into the limelight with these stories that eventually will hopefully get adapted into films and TVs, shows, which is kind of what we need. We need that source of material, and we need people to write it. And what better person than Greg Pak? So this week's shout out goes to Greg Pak. Greg, thank you so much for your hard work. And I will continue purchasing pretty much every one of your comics. There's another one he came out with, Kensington Law, that I ordered a while back. I cannot remember. This one was his own, and again, same idea. He's a champion of diversity in comics, and I applaud him for it. So, Greg Pak, follow him on Twitter. I think that's the only one I know that he uses. Greg, GregPak, at Greg Pak on Twitter. I'll put a link in the description below. Please follow him. Send out a tweet. If you've read any of his stuff, send out a message of appreciation. I'm sure he would very much enjoy that. And that is this week's Asian American Spotlight. I will see you next week.